Hey, what up, everybody? This is Joel from Static ATX Records coming at you again with another fire video. Hold on a second. Um, so let's talk a little bit about record prices a little bit. So this came up today. As you guys know, I'm into the minutia of the record business. This is something that I actively research and you know, just kind of look up information on. And so this came up again. It had been a while, but on the Discogs forums, somebody was was complaining about Alliance again. Right? This comes up from time to time. It's like a constant thing. If you are a record store owner and you sell on Discogs, you know, to a lot of people like that, Alliance is the bane of your existence. And hey, Vinyl Kicks. Um, so initially, I'm kind of over this topic, by the way. Like I really got worked up about it, months and months ago, but I'm kind of over it because I've gained some perspective, and I don't think it's there are problems and there are aspects of this conversation that are important to have, but a lot of the complaints center around Alliance themselves selling on Discogs, and I'm kind of over that part of it. Now, a lot of you may or may not have any idea what the hell I'm talking about, um, which it's fine. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a few things just to give you this information. You may or may not give a shit about it. Um, but there is a company, and I had this pulled up here to share, and then something happened to my tabs. Let me get this pulled up again. Okay, I'm going to show this here. So this right here, this website right here, this is the website for a company called Alliance Entertainment, and as you can see, they are a publicly traded company, right? They're on the Nasdaq. Their whatever their stock sign is AENT. This right here is definitely the largest distributor of vinyl records, CDs, also movies and games and collectible things. They distribute a whole lot of things, right? They distribute toys and all kinds of stuff, right? This is a huge company, and I don't know. I don't. I'm some of the fine details of what I'm about to tell you I may not be getting exactly right, but it doesn't really matter. I think over time they've acquired other companies. They've kind of merged or bought other companies that do other things. So there's some other parts of their company, right? Like another part of their company. It's a separate. I don't know what you call like if you're in a like a major if you're a major corporation, you might have different businesses that may be somewhat related but are separate. This is one of theirs that is separate. It's called Collector's Choice Music. You can see here, it says right here, they're an Alliance Entertainment Company, and once again, they have their stock symbol here. This is not a secret. This is you can see this on the internet. Now, Alliance, meaning the entire entertainment company, does not sell anything on Discogs, but Collector's Choice, this company, this part of the company, this I don't know what you call it, a business. I don't know what the fuck you call it, but anyway, Collector's Choice sells music on Discogs as CC Music. Um, right, and they're the one of the largest. They're one of the largest sellers on Discogs. There's also this company here. This is Pop Market, right? Once again, not a secret, an Alliance Entertainment company. Now, I do not believe that Pop Market or Collector's Choice started out being an alliance company. I think these are companies that were acquired by Alliance, because Alliance is attempting, like, this is what all companies do. They acquire smaller companies to kind of grow their brand and become bigger companies. So Pop Market also, I don't know if they still sell on Discogs. I know they did at one point. I don't know, and I don't care. But they did sell on Discogs at one point. Yeah, and they have others, like Vinyl Kicks is saying. There's Deep Discount. Deep Discount is another one. Yeah, and there may be others. So these companies, so these parts of the business or whatever, they're in the business of selling things, right, to people. And Discogs is a marketplace, so they sell things on Discogs. Now, the complaint that people make is that they sell directly to consumers at close to wholesale prices, which undercuts other businesses. That's the complaint that people make. Okay. But there's a bigger problem, right? Right. Different people have different opinions about how you deal with this or whatever. But I want to walk you through something. Okay. I picked out a record. It wasn't completely at random. I wanted a record that was somewhat recent and was from a specific label that I'm familiar with and that I have data to share on, right? Right. So I could just share. But I could, if anyone in chat now during the live stream or later on wants to shout out any record, I will show you the data for it. Okay. But this is just the one that I picked. So let's just say you're a fan of Lush, right? This is a group that is released on the 4AD label, right? So coming up here very soon in November, I think it's already released in the UK, but in the US they're going to be reissuing 2025 remaster of Gala. Yeah, it's a great record, right? Um, So if you go to the 4AD website, now this is the US version of the 4AD store. If you're in the UK or in Europe, you're going to go to the UK EU store up here. So in the US store, if you go to this site here, you have some choices here. You have a deluxe colored 3 LP, or they say 3 12-inch plus a 7-inch box set that you can get, and that's going to be $56.08. It's a random number. I don't fully understand why they choose these random numbers, but it's whatever, right? You can buy this colored version. You can also get the plain single LP black version for $22.93. And you can also get the CD for $13.58. Again, 480 always picks these random numbers. It doesn't really matter, right? But the point is, you have these choices: deluxe colored CD, or sorry, deluxe colored box set, black LP, and CD, right? Now, if you're a store and you want to carry this in your store, you have a couple of choices, right? 4AD does not, as far as I'm aware, allow stores to buy wholesale directly from them. And the other thing about this is that this is the the information I'm going to share is very U.S. centric, right? I'm obviously not in the UK. I'm here in the Austin, Texas area, so I'm sharing you information that's very U.S. centric. So in the U.S., I don't think 4AD allows a store to buy directly from them. So the next best thing is they have a direct distribution deal with Matador. So some of you may be aware of Matador. It's an indie record label, Helium, and a whole bunch of other great bands over the years. But they have a distribution part of their company where they distribute several different labels. They distribute 4AD, um, uh, Rough Trade, XL, Young, and maybe a couple others. I forget. Um, But if for a store to get that Lush album in the store, the wholesale price is $15, right? First of all, another data point to keep in mind is that stores, at least in the U.S., as far as I've been able to tell through all the distribution accounts that I have, cannot order the 3 12-inch color version. We can only get the single LP black version and the CD. I've not found any way to get the color version. So if you want the color version, you have to buy it from the 4AD website. You don't have any other choices, as far as I'm aware of. I have not seen it anywhere else. I could probably look it up to see if maybe Amazon has it or something. But none of the distributors I'm going to talk about today have that. So the single LP black version from Matador Direct, which is the direct distributor for 4AD, it's $15 wholesale, and they have a suggested retail price of $26.98. And you'll just have to trust me. I'm not going to share the screen because I don't. I've talked about this before on the stream. I don't know about the legalities of me sharing it. I don't even know the legality of me sharing the numbers, but I don't care. I'm going to share you the numbers anyway. So keep that in mind. $15 wholesale, $26.98 as the retail price, the suggested retail price. Now, a lot of stores don't have an account with Matador Direct, right? Or for one reason or another, they don't order 4AD records from Matador Direct. But a lot of stores do have an account with Red Eye, and Red Eye also distributes 4AD records. But because I don't consider Red Eye to be a direct distributor, their prices are higher. So the wholesale price for that record at Red Eye is $18. So it's $3 more for the store to pay for it. But their suggested retail price is still $26.99, right? They add a penny. So all that means is if you're a store, you're losing out on $3 worth of margin if you buy it from Red Eye. And of course, this doesn't take into account shipping costs. I'm not going to get into all that. It's another variable. But let's just say you don't have an account with Red Eye. There's a lot of stores that either don't or can't get an account with Red Eye. So there's another level to this, which is what they call one-stop shops. The most popular one, there's 3 main ones that I'm aware of. The biggest one being Alliance, that entertainment company I just shared a second ago. So if you go to Alliance and you buy the record from them for wholesale for the store, the wholesale price is $21.25. So that's $6.25 more than Matador, and their suggested retail price is $29.99. So $3 more on the retail side and $6.25 more on the wholesale side. Right now, there's some other one-stop shops. There's also a one called All Media Supply. Short name is AMS. Their wholesale price is $20.35, so about $1 less than Alliance's, and their suggested retail price is $26.99. So they have their retail price is in line with the direct distributors, but their wholesale price is still $5.35 more than Matador, right? So your store's margin is just being cut severely by buying from the one stop. Okay. Now, because this is public, I can share this. This is, oh, wait, let me add it back on the screen. This is CC Music, right? You can pre order the album. Here, they have the album for pre order. Again, just the black version, not the color version, for $23.98, right? So this is going to be $1 more than the 4AD site, right? Retail. And it's only going to be $2 more than the wholesale price that Alliance is selling it for. And I know I'm talking about a bunch of numbers, and it'd probably be great if I put a graphic up so you can kind of visualize these numbers. But the point is, this is the complaint that stores make about Alliance. So, like, if you're a store and you bought this record from Alliance Wholesale, you're going to buy it for $21.25. And then if you tried to compete with CC Music on Discogs to sell it, you're basically losing money, right? Let's check. So someone in the chat brought up Amazon. Let's look it up. Amazon is a different beast, and it's a different conversation, and I'll explain a little bit why it's slightly a different conversation. So here's Amazon. So Amazon is $23.99. Okay, but you can understand though, if I were to buy this album wholesale from Matador and pay $15, then I could sell it for $23.99 in my store, right? And that would be what is that, like $9 profit? $9 margin minus any fees or whatever. Now it's still less than the suggested retail price, right? But if the lowest suggested retail price is $26.99, but 4AD themselves is selling it on their site for less, right? Why is $26.99 the suggested retail price when anybody in the world can just go right on the 4AD website and buy it for $22.93? Why would you even buy it on Amazon? Now I'll tell you why people buy it on Amazon, because they get free shipping, versus if you buy it on the 4AD website or literally anywhere else, you're going to be paying for shipping. Except for CC Music does offer free shipping on orders $50 or more. So if you bundle in a bunch of things, you can get free shipping. But Amazon doesn't have that requirement, right? Amazon, as long as it's a prime, as long as it's a prime item, you get free shipping. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that if you're being a smart consumer, and we're just talking dollars here, right? It's not like if you went down to your local store and paid $26.99 versus going to Amazon and buying it for $23.99, or going to 4AD and buying it for $22.99, or whatever the random number was, $22.93. It's all negligible. We're just talking about a couple dollars here and there. But the problem is it undercuts stores. So this is what the big complaint is. The other thing is that the reason why the reason a lot of stores complain about Alliance is because you can't buy this record from Alliance, because wholesale it's $21.25. If you're buying it for $21.25, you cannot compete with Amazon's price, right? Because $23.99 versus $21.25, after you've already paid for shipping, like, what are you going to do? Make $1 of profit on selling it? That's just not a sustainable business model, right? So this is why a lot of stores say, "Oh, don't even bother carrying anything that CC Music is selling on Discogs." But that's not the answer, right? Because if you're a store and you want to carry the Lush album, then you want to carry it, right? Like, don't not carry it just because CC Music is selling it on Discogs for less. You shouldn't be building your business model after what CC Music is doing on Discogs, right? But anyway, this is just kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about, is that, like, there's different layers to this, right? If you're a smart store, and you're trying to both save money and also pass on savings to your customers, you're going to want to find as close to the direct distributor as you possibly can, and preferably buy it directly from the label if you can. Some labels will deal directly with a store, even sometimes some artists will. It's rare, it's not a common thing, but the answer to how do you carry this Lush album in the stores, you don't buy it from Alliance. You buy it from Matador Direct, right? That's where you buy it from. But then you also have to, as a store, have to be smart. Do I stick with the $26.99 suggested retail price they gave me, or do I do additional research and see that Amazon has it for $23.99, or CC Music has it for $23.99, or 4AD has it for $22.93, and lower your retail price? That's what you have to do, but it's additional work, and a lot of stores don't have the structure to do that additional work. Right? They're literally downloading a a catalog from the distributor and saying, "Oh, the distributor said it's $26.99, so it's $26.99." Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I don't think. Let me see if I can. No, they don't. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Well, let me see my own site. I don't even think I put this stuff for pre-order. And there's another point I want to make after this. Oh, I do. Okay. So here's my store. So I actually have it for pre-order for $22.99. So um that means, and sorry, I don't have the greatest memory. I don't remember doing this, but just looking at this, I can tell you that the reason I have it for $22.99 is because I referenced the 4AD site when I was putting my listing up, right? So I'm a little bit more than the 4AD site, but I'm less than Amazon. I'm $22.99. And I'm not trying to say buy it from me. What I'm saying is that, like, that's what a store has to do. Like, we cannot just, like, blindly trust the distributors to give us like, you can't just buy whatever you want to carry from just any distributor, nor can you trust the retail prices they give you, in order to, whenever you're setting your prices in your store. You know what I mean? So, Vinyl Kicks, you asked a question, or no, you made a statement in the chat saying, "I've heard distributors don't like when stores sell below retail price." I personally have not heard that. I also don't think distributors have any choice in the matter. It's a suggested retail price. It's not a set in stone thing. Now, there may be special cases where you have to agree to sell it at a certain price. I haven't seen that. I used to see that back in the day. I haven't seen that recently. If people want, let me see. I don't know how to show these. Oh, here we go. If people want to buy records cheaper than retail, they would just do this. Sucks for shots, but that's just how it goes. This is the reality, right? The reality is, so we had a stream on the Vinyl Community Social Club a few weeks ago. It was probably a few months ago. We asked the question, are record stores still necessary? Um, and I forget what our consensus was, but the reality is that, like, the market is going to set whatever it's going to set, right? Like, if record stores get priced out of being able to stay in business, it's already kind of that way anyway. The reality is that anyone who's running a record store, I don't care how big you are, I don't care if you're Amoeba Records or Rough Trade or the In Groove or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you are running a record store, you're doing it because you're passionate about records and it's what you want to do. No one is getting rich. There was a record store owner, I'm not going to call them out by name or whatever, but they had a record store for damn near 30 years, a really successful record store. And when they got sick, they didn't have any health insurance and they had to have a GoFundMe opened up to take care of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy to think. If you're running a business that's successful for 30 years and you can't take care of yourself health wise, now, you know what I mean? Like, it's because the business model, no one gets into selling records because they're trying to get rich, you know? Um, so the other point that I wanted to make here, that's kind of cool that I figured out how to show comments. Let's show this one. I used to find records in a laneway. I thought it was magic. Then later, my girlfriend told me they were probably just stolen and discarded there. What a letdown. I don't know what a laneway is. I don't know what you mean by that. like in an alleyway. And Breakfast King is saying, "Dude." So you used to find records in an alley, and you thought they were stolen or discarded there. Okay. I don't know what to say to that, but um, anyway. So the other point that I want to make to this whole thing is that because Alliance is a publicly traded company, right? They're going to do what any large corporations do, right? They're going to try to make the most amount of money that they can, which means that it's not, they're never like, when was the last time you saw a large corporation be like, you know what, we're going to lower prices? We're just going to, this is ancient history, but many years ago, a big news headline was CD prices are going down. In reality, major labels lowered the suggested retail, but our cost was the same. I see. I don't remember CD prices ever going down. I mean, they always had these budget titles or whatever that had lower prices. Um, but yeah, so like, yeah. So I think the issue that I have is that the business model is not sustainable to have too many hands on the pie, right? So when you have a record that costs like $30 or $40 or whatever it costs, there's too many people who are trying to get their cut of that, right? You have the artist, you have the label, you have multiple distributors. I just showed you with this Lush, if you're buying it from Alliance, I mean, you potentially have like an additional three different people trying to get a piece of the pie, right? And then of course you have the store trying to get their piece as well, right? And then of course you have the added layer of the fact that you could just bypass the store entirely and go right to the 4AD website, and not only are you getting the best price, um, minus shipping costs, but you're also getting a version of the record that you can't get anywhere else, right? Labels and artists are doing this more and more, where they're cutting all retailers out, and they're encouraging you just to buy directly from them. Um, and this cuts stores out. So when you so sorry, I had a train of thought. I had a train of thought that I was going on before, where I was saying, where we were talking about, are record stores still necessary? The market is going to have to determine that, right? Because record store owners are passionate, and there are people that are passionate about going to record stores. But if the business model cannot sustain a record store being open, then record stores won't be open, right? And this isn't even a matter, the people could rise up and just shop at their local record store and kind of will it to happen, like will the store to stay open by just shopping with them. But when you have a down economy and people are trying to save money, I can't blame anybody for wanting to save a few bucks and go and buy it directly from the website, right? um and also in cases like this, as you've seen, like I lower my prices in the store, but the only reason I'm able to do that again is because I got it at a lower wholesale price. You know, I couldn't price it at $22.99 if I bought it from Alliance. I tried that. These are lessons I've had to learn as I'm running my store, where there are a lot of records that I have to do a lot of research. Not only do I have to research which records I'm going to carry, but I also have to research where I buy them from, right? There are other stores, I've actually talked with them, and I'm not going to call anyone out. There are other stores that just say, I'm going to buy everything from Alliance just because it's easiest for me to buy everything from one place rather than shop around, you know? But I place a lot of smaller orders from multiple distributors because I'm trying to find the lowest possible wholesale price so I can have the lowest possible price in the store. Now, as a result, I'm not making a lot of profit, right? Like my store is not profitable. I also don't necessarily care about that. That's not my goal. My goal is not to, like, when you look at like Mike at the In Groove, or Dylan and Noble Records, or really almost any other record store, they probably are trying to make a profit, right? Um, and I'm not blaming them. Like, you should make a profit. That's a way to be a good business person. I have my reasons for why that's not my. I have a different source of income that I have a day job, right? Um, so here's a question. So Mark asked, do wholesalers take returns at all? Not on vinyl. So if you get, if a store receives damaged items, they can return those to the wholesaler, but they can't just return. So, Mark, I mean, I think you mentioned you worked in a store before. If you remember what it was like back in the day, you could return CDs, right? Like a new release comes out, the store would order hundreds of them so they could put up all their displays everywhere, and then there a date would come and you could return a certain percentage of them back to the distributor, and that kind of took a lot of the stress away from the store because they would get the credit to buy more stuff. But vinyl back then and also today, um, vinyl's never been returnable. If you remember back in the day, it also wasn't returnable. So I was a buyer for Tower Records back in the day, which was a retailer here in the U.S. Um, we had to be really careful with what vinyl we bought. We didn't buy very much because it wasn't returnable. Um, and that same holds true today. If the economy gets worse, people will not be able to support. Exactly. So vinyl kicks. This is the point that I'm trying to make. I don't blame people. Like, I think in the past I've had a different attitude because I personally am passionate about record stores. Forget about the fact that I have a record store now. Before I had a record store, I was spending a lot of time going to my local record stores. And guess what? I still do. Just the other day, I was at Innoveneer, one of my favorite record stores here in Austin, and I was buying stuff from them. I go to Breakaway, I go to Love Wheel, I go to BLK, I go to all these record stores. Whenever I go on a trip, I'm going to record stores. When I'm at the Awesome Record Convention, I'm buying from other sellers. I support other record stores because I like the value that record stores provide. I don't care if I could get it cheaper somewhere else. You know what I mean? But that's a decision that I make, and I don't blame anyone else for making the decisions they make, right? It was a real laneway. I promise, BK. Cool. Mark asked Vinyl Kicks if he has a store. Yeah, so Mark, yeah, so you remember what it was like. We could return a certain percentage of the CDs. Vinyl Kicks says, no, I am saying as an average Joe customer, you can buy from their retail sites and they accept returns. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like if you buy a record from 4AD or wherever, actually, it doesn't really matter where you buy from. As a customer, you can return stuff. I mean, depending on what their return policy is. At my store, I take things back. Like if you want to return it, go ahead and return it. I don't get a ton of returns. Like you might have to, cut people off if they're abusing things. Like there has been stories we've heard where certain people kind of got cut off on returns because they were doing too many. Um, I haven't had that problem, so I'm not. It's not a big deal. But anyway, okay. So the other point that I wanted to make was that. So if you remember what it was like back in the '90s, this is before, a little bit before Napster, and also around Napster. I didn't see any sign that the distributors or the labels or anybody else really gave a shit about keeping prices down, right? Prices kept creeping up and up and up and up and up. And when Napster happened, I don't remember offhand what their reaction was, but it wasn't to lower prices, right? It just killed it, and all the stores started shutting down. Um, that same thing, we're risking that happening again. So right now we're in a quote vinyl boom and people are really into vinyl records and they want to buy them. So we had a resurgence, right? New stores opened, existing stores were able to convert from CDs to more vinyl, and they were able to thrive during the quote vinyl boom. But if a Napster like situation happens again, it won't be Napster again. But if something happens where people get disinterested in physical media, and when I say people, I mean the masses, um, you're not going to see stores shut down in a year or 2 years or 3 years. You're going to see stores shut down in less than 6 months because stores are not making a ton of money and they don't have the runway like a Tower Records did or a Virgin Megastore or whatever to keep going for a while, right? They're going to shut down immediately if something happens. And so the point that I'm trying to make is the problem is not that CC Music is selling products for close to wholesale prices on Discogs. The problem is the entire model of how records get distributed to customers is not a sustainable model if you need to lower prices, right? There's too many layers of distribution in there who that need their cut, that because Alliance, they have their stockholders to think about, right? They have to keep increasing profits year over year, so that's why they keep buying more companies. That's why they keep distributing more things, right? They're distributing toys and God knows what, right? And that's a huge part of their business now is video games and toys and tchotchkes and little doodads and whatever. You know what I mean? So Alliance will survive if people stop buying vinyl records, right? Because they sell other things, but a record store won't. So I want them, and the problem is not that Alliance is there or that one stop shops exist. Period. It's that they need to hopefully listen to consumers and figure out ways to be more efficient to lower prices. Otherwise, they're but or the other side of the right because it's a what do you call it? It's like a what do you call it? It's like a pendulum, right? Either the economy has to get better and people have to make more money so they can afford to buy records, or record prices have to go lower, right? A lot of times on the consumer side, on the buyer side, you're thinking prices have to get lower, and I hope that on the other side, on the business side, they're trying to figure out how can we lower prices, and an easy way to do that is to cut out some of the middlemen, right? Or cut out the store, right? Because technically the record stores are middlemen as well. And you just have to, we go entirely to a direct to consumer model. Um, yeah, so that's kind of all I have no idea how many people are even looking. The other kind of thing that I wanted to bring up is what is referred to as an MRR model, which is monthly recurring revenue. This is what you see in things like Vinyl Me Please, and the Interscope subscription and the Third Man Vault and the Rhino whatever they got going on, like all these things, whether it's a straight up subscription model or it's a series that's like exclusive to their site, these models, you know, it's the new way of doing business. It's the way companies make money. Um, but in my personal opinion, it's not very consumer friendly, right? I don't want to have to pay a monthly fee. It just doesn't work for me, right? I understand why they're doing it. I just don't personally like that model, and I think that model works in some industries. I do not think it works in the music industry. I think it works with streaming, right? Like pay your monthly fee to Spotify or Tidal or whatever, but um, but not for a vinyl record club of any sort. Well, I think that so. Hold on, let me listen. So that's why I'm happy Taylor S sells tons to normies. It's like how Marvel and DC's health affects indie comics. I don't know who Taylor S is. Oh, Taylor Swift. That's why I'm happy Taylor Swift sells tons to normies. I don't know what that means, man. I'm sorry. It's like how Marvel and DC's health affect indie comics like Fantagraphics as well as local comic shops. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of parallels with comics and everything like that. We got an F VMP. See, to me, because I think VMP, and I don't, I never subscribed to VMP. I never bought anything from VMP, so I don't know a ton about it. But to me, I think VMP has to be an example of how the MRR model does not work with vinyl or CDs for that matter. Because even think about it, like we're old enough, we remember BMG and Columbia House, right? How many of us took advantage of that? It just doesn't work. I don't think that model works in this space. They tried it with VMP and stuff like that. I think the reason why it failed was because that model is just going to fail. Did VMP get you for any money? So the Sub Pop Singles Club, I would say that's a little different, right? I would not compare the Sub Pop Singles Club with something like VMP or any kind of subscription model. It was a subscription thing, but that's a unique thing. That wasn't just reissues of like common shit you can get outside of it. That was very specific to Sub Pop. Those were, if those of you that don't know, it was like a series of 7 inches, and I think at the end that you got a box. I took part and I did the Sub Pop Singles Club. I think I only did it one time. But at the end they gave me the box. I did belong to some other 45 RPM 7-inch series clubs. I bought them because I'm really into those. I would put that in a different bucket. That's more of a collector's thing than I see happening with the MRR model, right? Because also that ends, right? That was like that was a set price. You got a set amount of 7 inches, and then it ended. It didn't just keep going. It wasn't like month after month after month. You just continue getting charged. I had one selection owed to me when they shut down. Oh, that's more VMP stuff. VMP. Yeah, see, to me, like VMP was never a draw for me. It just, I don't give a shit what they were issuing. I'm not doing a monthly payment for some random thing that I don't get to. Even I think what they do, like they had different tracks and you got to choose. Like this month I could do hip hop, next month I could do a rock title or whatever. They just weren't releasing stuff that I was into. Oh, Mark. Oh, that's nice, Mark. This is great. Sorry, was not really paying attention to your point. This is as per usual, right? The reality is no one really gives a shit about this topic. It's something that I like talking about, but I don't blame people for not really giving a shit about the topic. Um, One of the things that I think about a lot. So I started the store, technically maybe a year ago or something. I forget when I started it at this point, but I've had the physical store now. I'm going on the fourth month. I'm going into my fourth month. I agreed to do this for a year, right? I signed a year lease with the building. I'm going to do the physical store for a year, and I'm treating it like a science experiment to see if I am. But I already know, unless some miracle happens, it's not going to be like, it's never going to pay me as much as my day job could, right? So I'm doing it for fun. I really just want the store to break even. I don't want it to cost me money, and we're already basically break even, right? Like I make some decisions that make it not so break even, but I could make it break even. I'm selling enough to make it break even. Um, VMP was a great club till it wasn't. So many unnecessary. So there could be, it could be bad choices, but I think there's got to. I guarantee if I looked into it more, I would find evidence that the model itself doesn't work. You could swap out credit for a different title. Yeah. Completely off topic, but when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I drank a shit ton of Coke. I mean, we're talking like I could down like a 12 pack in a night. Um, and I stopped drinking Coke cold turkey. I cut it off. This would be in my 20s sometime. And I went a very long time, like 15, 20 years without drinking any soda. I pretty much just drank water, orange juice, the occasional whiskey, but I did not drink any soda of any sort. And something happened at some point somewhat recently, and I tried Coke again, and I got hooked back on drinking Coke again. And now it's like I find myself craving it, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude! I'm gonna have to find a way to cut myself off again. Mark Boyd. So you say you were distracted, but you do care. Cool. My local has a record club where you pay a monthly fee and they basically dump records on you that nobody wants. Oh shit. I mean, I explored things. So as you see on my website right now, by the way, some of this stuff I'm gonna have to end. I've tried different things and it's not really working, so I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna keep the people that are grandfathered in. But I offered this. You can see it here at the top of my page. If you live in the Austin, Texas area, use code local and I'll do free delivery. I just don't have any time anymore to do deliveries. Like there's not very many people that took me up on it. I could count on one hand the number of people that have wanted that regularly contact me for deliveries, and I'll continue to deliver to them. But it's extremely time consuming because a lot of people. I'm 45 minutes away from Austin, and I have a lot of people down in South Austin wanting me to deliver to them, and that's like an hour or more drive. And I can't justify it. Like it's just, and it's not about money or anything other than time. I just don't have an hour each way to drive. So I'm probably going to end that. The other thing that I was doing was this 10% back of store credit thing. And no one, some people are using it, most people aren't, and they don't really care. They like nobody's coming and buying from me to get the 10% back, so nobody cares. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I've also explored different subscription models. Like I thought about you pay, come up with some fee, and you get free credit, you get free store credit and free shipping or something. I brainstormed multiple ideas. Nothing made sense financially. Also, no one seemed to care. Like nobody. It wasn't. I was gonna try to do like kind of a sound dome model where you build up, you buy enough stuff, and then once you reach a certain point, I ship things for free. But no one was wanting to do that. No one was interested. The model started to break down when labels started investing more in their own reissue series and the titles weren't as good. Yeah, I mean that's another thing, right? Like exclusivity. Like, I can't tell you how many times, even, and this affects record stores too. Someone will call me up and be like, "Hey, did you get that new blah blah record or that new variant?" And I have to tell people, "No, I'm sorry, that's like exclusive to their website." Like, it even tells you it's exclusive to their website. So why would I have that in my store? Like, they don't let me have it. I would love to have it. You just don't have a choice. So to this point, what percent of my deliveries are to Jason? Jason is only about one record from me. This is a different topic, and I was joking around about this at the Awesome Record Convention. I have a bunch of we have like a friend circle that all goes to the record convention. We all sell. We rarely look at each other's records. There's something about the fact that we're all friends that they don't even look at your records. I made a comment that somebody, I forget who it was, bought a record from somebody else that I myself was selling, probably for less money, but they didn't know because they never bothered to look through my records. There's just a thing with friends. I also have a friend just the other day. He messages me and asks me, "Hey, do you have?" There, he's looking for Ott and Spangle. Shout out to Jason. It's a different Jason. And I was like, "Bitch, I have a website, dude. Just go look." Like if you just go to the website and search, you'll see that I do have those records. That way, you don't have to message me. You know what I mean? But friends are just funny. Friends are funny. They just they I don't know, man. Anyway, what about a buy and hold until X amount hit? Yeah, yeah. So Sheepdog, that's a Sound Dome model, right? So Sound Dome, you 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 pay some fee of some sort, like a monthly fee or something. I don't personally shop at Sound Dome, but I have friends that do, so I'm a little familiar with it. My understanding is you pay some monthly fee or something, you build up your thing, and then they ship everything for free, right? That's the general gist. That's above and beyond Joel delivering to South Austin. Yeah, I mean, Mark, I want to, and when I was online only, that's when I came up with that idea about the delivery because it made sense. I didn't have a store; you couldn't come pick anything up, so I'll deliver to you. And I like doing deliveries. It's just logistically, I don't have the time to do it anymore. That Rojas guy keeps returning all the Rhino high fives. Yeah, probably. What's going on in here? Is this the pre-show? So you missed the beginning of the stream, Caesar, but um I or Cesar probably is the probably pronounce it. I got triggered by something that happened on the Discogs forum, and I wanted to get it out of my head. Because if I waited till after the stream tonight, I would have forgotten what I was going to say. Is the stock up on your site up to date? Okay, here's the story. Vinyl Kicks. Ah, shit. Okay, I'm going to out myself. Ever since I got the physical shop, when I don't have enough time, the thing that suffers is the website. Everything on my website that if it says I have it, I have it. But there's a lot of stuff that's in the store that I have not put up on the site. I mean, first of all, none of my used inventory is on the site. None of my CDs are on the site. It's only the new records, but it's not even all of them. And I apologize for that. I've been working on the functionality of the site. So if you click on Shop All Vinyl, I'm working on this right here. So you see all these labels here. I'm working on defining labels for all these so you can easily search between labels. Same thing with genres. I want this to be the way people search through the website to find things. Like here you can see Jose's label. I have these. Um so I'm working on some functionality. I also don't have the inventory. Yeah. So does that make sense? Like I everything it says I have, but I have more than what is on the site, and I'm working on getting it back there. It's just I'm doing all of this by myself. I don't have any. First of all, I'm gonna say I don't have any help, with the caveat that I've had people offer to help me. I just don't know how to accept help because I can't pay you. I also don't know how physically I could have people help me with the site. You'd have to have a computer. You'd have to have that computer up at the store. I don't really know how it works. How to have people help me. So anyway, so Breakfast King says Sound Home, you pay $60 annually and they ship for free, but you need 150 in purchase. Okay. See, I want to do something like this. Okay. But the model could be the same as Sound Dome, but my inventory could not be the same as Sound Dome, right? Because obviously Sound Dome has a lot of stuff they get from European distributors. So I could have that model. I could do that exact same model. Well, first of all, are you forced into doing that? Like, if could you just go and buy an album ad hoc and not do a subscription, just buy an album and just have them pay for shipping, or do you have to do it like that? The free international shipping for Sound, it makes it a no-brainer. Oh, absolutely, man. Gotcha site looks great, by the way. Yeah, so like that's my only thing is my inventory couldn't be the same. Like they carry a lot of like European labels and stuff like that that I couldn't do it with those, but I could carry, other stuff and make it okay, that's what I thought. So that's cool. Like I don't have any problem with that. Um I don't know logistically how they set that up on their site, like what service they're using to make that all, or I don't know if someone coded it themselves. Because my site is based on Shopify, which is a lot of stores use Shopify. I've looked for like add-ons or whatever to do something like that. I couldn't find anything, but I'd be down for doing something like that if people were interested. But I also would have to find people that are interested in the records that I have. You know what I mean? Like I need to they SoundDome has so much more inventory than I do. I have maybe 2,000 titles, something in that vein, something in that realm. SoundDome probably has like a shit ton more, right? Let me look it up. How many records total do you think SoundDome has buried in here? Let's look up I don't know if there's going to be a way for me to get a number. Yeah, see, they have 238 pages, and that's just in electronic music. So I think financially, it makes sense for SoundDome to do that, right? Because they're like whatever they're buying these records at wholesale, it may basically financially makes sense. America is a different market, right? I couldn't like obviously I could not do like if you were just to take SoundDome with their entire stock and just move it to the US and do it, it wouldn't work. Um Most likely. I'd have to dig into it to see, but I'd have to import all these, right? So the prices wouldn't be the same. And yeah, anyway. And obviously all this stuff is outside of the realm of like whatever Alliance is doing or whatever. Like none of this stuff is stuff that Alliance has. Like they probably have relationships with the distributors that distribute all these labels. Well, here we go. I can get this record. This is Wax Tracks. Let me see. Is this? Oh, okay. So this is from Infinite Fog. I would get this from Wax Tracks. Yeah, Vinyl Kicks. I got the Love Lies Crushing, but literally it sold out in pre-orders. The copies that I got were got gobbled up, and I didn't restock it. I should have, but I just didn't. I was really surprised by how many people wanted that album. I sold several of them. I don't even know. Do I still have that? I shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't. The other thing that I did. Okay, so the other thing that I set up on my site to do was remove anything that ran out of stock. So one of the things that I think is really annoying with sellers that use Shopify, like the InGroove does this, um, they when something goes out of stock, they just leave it up on their site and it just says unavailable or whatever. That's annoying. So I figured out a way in my inventory system that if something goes to zero, it removes it. It's still like in the inventory system. So on the back end, if I restock it, I can put it back on the site, but it removes it from the site once it hits zero. That way you never see anything that's out of stock. Because I'm not a big fan of I hate that personally. Colored vinyl costs more than colored vinyl. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Colored vinyl costs more than colored vinyl? By the way, this is a great album. By the way, if you have, I have an original, or I have an earlier press than this reissue from Infinite Fog. Anyway, I promised Jason that I wouldn't burn myself out on my pre-show thing. This was supposed to be really short, and I've been going an hour. I just kind of wanted to give some information about these distributors and why prices are the way they are. And I have no faith that prices are going to go down on new records. If anything, I think they're going to go up. But hopefully, if you're a store, I shared some information about how you can get your prices down. And that's by not just buying from a one-stop shop, by doing research. My whole method, sorry, import joke. I'm sorry, Mark. Like it's obviously going over my head. What I do, my whole method for how I go about finding what records to carry in my store. If I want to carry something, I literally spend a good deal of time researching who the direct distributor is for that label, that artist, right? Like here's an example. You guys may or may not care about these artists. You'll have to forgive me. So Cold Cave, right? So Cold Cave distributes their own records. So I could have bought these Cold Cave records from a different distributor or whatever, but I was like, let me just reach out to them, tell them I'm interested in carrying their records. So I was able to get these at a better price, and because I was able to do that, I was able to lower the prices. So these are the same prices here as you can get on their website. I matched their price, but the only reason I was able to do that was because I went directly to them. Another artist is Ott. Now this is all I have left. I had all of his titles. These are I need to reach out to him again. But I also bought these directly from I bought them directly from the artist, which is why like you don't really, if most stores aren't going to carry this, carry these because he distributes them himself, and if you try to order these, like if you're in the US, you're most likely going to order them from the UK and pay extra shipping. So when I reached out to him, I told him, hey, I want to carry your records and I want to offer lower prices for the US audience, right? I want to be able to offer better shipping so they don't have to ship it from the UK. So he sold me a bunch of his records. And I need to reach back out to him. To get more because I've been running low. People have been getting them from me. Same thing with Jose's stuff. Like here, instead of buying it from Mexico and importing them, you can buy them from me. These are the only ones I have. I'm trying to get Jose to sell them to me before he sells them out on his Bandcamp, but it's sometimes hard to do that. What else we got? I like Flying Nun. Some flying. I only have one thing. I'm still trying to get all this set up. It's just metadata on I sell a lot of Discord. I don't have all the Discord records. I have them all on the website, but they're not all with the metadata to show up. But this is all the Discord stuff. And again, I'm matching Discord's prices. And the reason why is because Discord is another label that you could buy directly from Discord, right? Discord has their own distribution called Discord Direct, or you could buy these same ones from Red Eye, right? Which I don't even think, did I finish all the numbers? I think I did on the Lush. Yeah, so I could buy Discord records from Red Eye, but if I do that, I'm going to be paying more, which means I have to charge more. But if I want to offer the lowest prices, right, have this Sensor Ghost record for $18.99, the only way I can do that is to buy it from Discord Direct. But most stores won't do that. Most stores are just going to get them, or either not going to carry them, or get them from a Red Eye or an Alliance, right? Yeah, I got Lungfish. I have all the Lungfish albums. In fact, you know what I did? I'll be honest with you guys. One of the very first things that I did as a store was I contacted Discord Direct and I was like, give me your catalog. And I ordered at least one of everything. I ordered one of every single thing they had in stock, except for Fugazi. I ordered two of everything. And it was a huge box I got of all this Discord stuff. So I literally had everything they had in stock. And I've done that a few times, and I'm going to continue to do it. Like, Discord is such one of my favorite labels. And not only musically are they one of my favorite labels, but I have such a respect for how they run their label that I will always be keeping these records in stock as much as I possibly can. Now, there's no benefit to buying from me versus buying from Discord. You can just go to their website and buy them. But I sell a lot of Discord in the store, like in my physical store. I do sell some of this stuff on Discogs because Discord doesn't sell their stuff on Discogs. But yeah, so the point being, and this isn't all of everything I have. This is just the stuff I put the metadata on. I need to finish this project of mine. I did do all the 4AD. That's why there's 63 4AD titles in stock. This is everything 4AD currently has. And some of these prices, man. I mean, this is 3 LPs, but it's $44.99. It's getting a little pricey, you know what I mean? I did get one copy. This came out for Record Store Day, the Lisa Germano. I don't know why they sold this to me. The distributor did. Technically, I'm not a Record Store Day approved store. I've not been blessed by the Record Store Day gods, but I managed to get one of these for the store. But I carry everything else 4AD, and see these prices. The reason they're $24.99 is because I get them from Matador Direct. If I got them from Alliance or Red Eye, I wouldn't be able to offer those prices. They'd be higher. Now, granted, some of these, I do have a few Cranky things. Isn't Cranky? Shit, what did I get from Cranky recently? Was Cranky Low? Did they do the Low album? Oh, you know what? I think you're gonna. Oh, sorry, I should have shown these comments. More Flying Nun, dude. Russell, I love Flying Nun. I love old Flying Nun. I also love new Flying Nun. Lungfish. The Sensor Ghost is really good. So Cranky. So I do have some Cranky stuff, but it's the stuff that I have in the store that I haven't put on the website. So I apologize. I'm working on it, but I did get the Low. Shit. Hold on. Let me get the name of it. Hold on. My brain. Oh, I got Things We Lost in the Fire, the Low album. I got, what else did I get? I got some other Cranky stuff. I think Cranky is yeah. Oh, Bowery Electric. Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, this is what I always say. If I used to have this saying on my website, and I since removed it, which was so much music and so little time. I mean, even labels, like when I was a teenager, I was like obsessed with SST Records, like the Minutemen, and Screaming Trees and several other artists. But I didn't even explore everything on SST. There's still stuff on SST that I didn't listen to. Same thing with Discord. As much as I love Discord, they still have records that they've released that I haven't listened to. There's just so much good music out there, and there's only so much time to listen to it all. Um, and I love it when people really get to know my taste and they can recommend stuff. So you're recommending, I'll check out Bowery Electric. I'm not familiar with them. And you're recommending Jessica Bailiff. Let me check her out. Any particular album you recommend? Um, I'm not familiar with Jessica Bailiff. I mean, there's so much music out there. It's just insane. Like, w- all of us could sit here and like, rattle off hours and hours of music that each other aren't familiar with. First one or Hour of Trace. Okay, so the first two albums you recommend. Okay, I think Cranky. Um, I think that's distributed by Midheaven. Let me double check. Oh no, okay. So Cranky is one of those ones that's distributed by either Midheaven or Forced Exposure. I did recently get an account with Forced Exposure, so I can carry their records. Um, if you like shoegaze or electronic, you'd probably. Oh, dude, I love shoegaze and electronic. I love both. Oh, damn, dude, what album from? Dude, I wasn't expecting to get musical recommendations here, but I'll take them, dude. Bowery Electric. Just so you guys know, like a lot of you are still kind of getting to know who I am as a person. Music discovery is my favorite thing. Like there has been so many albums that I've only listened to once or twice. There's been more albums that I've only listened to once or twice than there are albums I've listened to hundreds of times. I'm just like a consumer. Like I just like give me more, give me more, give me more. Um, and I have to make notes to myself. Like I make playlists and stuff in order to not forget things that I played. I used to DJ and I used to do kind of a radio show, and I used to record the radio show, and then years later I would go back and listen to them, and I'd be like, "Oh, I remember that song. I love that song." And all I won't remember, I was like, "I don't know who the artist is. I don't know what the name of the song is, but I remember loving that song." That happens to me all the time because I just listen to so many different things that I forget. I forget what I listen to. Um, anyway, I'll check out Bowery Electric. So they have two albums on Cranky. Oh, and they were on Beggar's Banquet. Hell yeah, dude. That's like right up my alley. Mine too. Never trying to one up anyone. I like to share what I like. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not to me, it's not a competition. I don't, you know what I mean? I know some people don't like being vulnerable and talk about what they don't know or say they don't know something. There's so much shit that I don't know, you know? But I could also share stuff that other people don't know. It's like it's just a thing. It's like who cares? That's why I like meeting different people and get to know what kind of music they're into. Because you get to like experience different things. Bowery Electric Beat 96 with the stuff you DJ. I think you'll dig it. Oh hell yeah, dude! I mean that looks like a badass fucking cover too. Anyway, I like that cover. We're really lucky. Like I know everyone loves their generation that they grew up in and everything like that. I feel like we had such good music in the 90s. It's insane. It wasn't always like the most popular music in the 90s, but I guess the underground stuff or whatever is so damn good. First two LPs are near classic. Hell yeah. I love discovering new music, just not enough time. Yeah, I spend what little time I have. I spend probably 75% listening to new stuff and 25% listening to stuff I like. When I streamed the other night and I was playing all those songs, a lot of those songs, like almost damn near all of them, I hadn't listened to in years. You know what I mean? This is part of the reason why, like, having a big collection isn't my goal anymore, because the reality is I don't listen to a lot of this stuff. Like, I want to, there's just not enough time. So it's like, and I spend so much of my time listening to new things that, the stuff that I listen to is the stuff in the crate down here by my, you can't see it, but I got a crate or a couple crates right underneath my DJ setup over here. That's the stuff I listen to. The stuff on the shelf I rarely ever play, which is why I wanted to start streaming and playing some songs, because it's like otherwise I don't know when I'm gonna have the motivation to pull some of this stuff out, even though it's great. When did I live in Dallas? I lived in Dallas. I moved back to Dallas. So technically, I was born in the Dallas area. Or no, I wasn't born. So I was born in Indiana, but I moved to Dallas before I was a year old, and we lived in Dallas until I graduated elementary school, and we moved away. But as an adult, I moved back when I was 17, or no, 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 not 17, like 18 or 19, something in that range. So this would have been 99, 98, 98, 99, somewhere around there. And I lived in Dallas for a while, and then I moved to Austin. Anyway, Bowery Electric, hell yeah, dude. And then I'm gonna check out this one. So we got Hour of the Trace. Looks like a cool cover. What's that other one you said? Or the self-titled Experimental Minimal? Hell yeah, dude. Dude, one of the things that's so hard for me, and we're getting like way off topic from my original topic, but genre names, it's so hard, man. Like, so many people call like different kinds of electronic music, they call it experimental. Like, I don't even know what the hell that means anymore. Isn't all music kind of experimental? I mean, even if you're making pop music, you could be experimenting with it a little bit. I mean, minimal makes sense, but when it's minimal experimental, like I know minimal techno. Hey, cool sheepdog. I appreciate it. For everybody else, I'm going to end this here in a second. Give you guys a break before we start with the vinyl community social club. That'll be starting in about an hour and 15 minutes. Our topic tonight is going to be how culture affects records. Absolutely, man. Yeah, this is very true. She worked with Alan from Low around the time of Secret. Oh, very cool. I love cross collab stuff. When, like, the other night I was playing Beth Orton, and it was like, if Beth Orton. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing this. I was sharing the Bowery Electric. I was looking through the Jessica Bailiff stuff and not showing it. Um, if you were to just listen to Beth Orton's music, just if she was just completely on her own, it would have been good, but not great. But just she teams up with William Orbit, it becomes great, right? So I love it when there's cross. There's another artist, Kate Havnevik, that I really like. She teamed up with this producer named Carmen Rizzo, and again, made great music because of that collaboration. So I'm always interested when there's cross collaboration between artists. It's a creepy ass cover right here, little doll. That's creepy. Let's see. This is her. Kind of looks like Lou Rhodes a little bit. Let's look what. Let's look at what. Let's see what Bowery Electric looks like. Looks like it's a duo. Cool. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. We will Vinyl Community Social Club will be here back in an hour. Give everyone a break, and then we'll be back. Cool. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you in about an hour.